So, beginning of February, we got Black History Month, which is a farce. And we got Valentine's Day. You or no one could ever die from a broken heart. Your heart can't be broken. And just talking in general, and I hope and I pray that no one ever believe that you can have a broken heart or your heart can be broken. Your heart has no feelings whatsoever. Your brain may be broken. And I mean, if you think, let's just say, anytime that you have experienced sadness, we can go to happiness too, but let's just go stick with sadness. Let's just go with breakups. What's the first thing, especially if you get caught up in something or it's unexpected, a death or something? What's the first thing that happens? You automatically starts to process the information, which causes your heart rate to speed up because now your brain is starting to work in overtime. So that's why your heart gets to beating faster. Then you start reminiscing back and forth about this, what could have been, and this and that. That's why, your heart is beating faster. And then once that happens, the rest of your body, some people just shut down. It's almost like a heart attack, and there have been people who have had heart attacks when given bad news. So then you would ask yourself, so if my heart can't be broken, and people use this all the time, this is how words manipulate people into doing things and believe certain things. And when it comes to relationships, so then you ask yourself, well then, what can I do that would stop me from like totally losing it when you lose somebody or break up with someone that you care about, whether it's unexpectedly or whatever. What I've realized in these last going on 11 years now, in my hiatus of, really messing around with people and hanging around a bunch of people. I go to the gym, I go to work, playing rugby, but now I got a shoulder injury that been nagging me and I can't get a fucking MRI because I got a bullet in my neck. So I'm still waiting to get a CAT scan done on the 10th. But when you become spiritually in tune with the universe, the world slows down. It really does. Like I find myself seeing situations and, predicting situations before they happen because choices I made in life. And when you're dating or in relationship, you know how many people I know who are married, who live together, and they don't even sleep in the same bed. Or they only have sex on holidays or if it's someone's birthday. And the main reason most of these people are staying together, some could say it because they're kids or they don't want to look bad on their, friends and family and their parents. You know how fucking dumb that is. The most precious thing we have in life is time. And you don't get that back. So while you're sitting there and all actually miserable, but you're trying to keep faith for society, your kids, and this sounds crazy, but fuck them kids. And I don't mean fuck them kids in a bad way. It's like, if mom and dad are not in love anymore, doesn't mean that they can't love you, just in separate households. And a kid should be able to understand that. And if they can't understand that, then in time they will. As long as one mother or one parent and the other parent ain't making up stuff and being mean behind the other parent's back. But we are put on this earth to experience life and to grow, and your wisdom should increase. in all actuality, you cannot do that if you attend each and everybody else's needs at once. You would die a you're gonna you're gonna die and you haven't reached your highest point. And people keep talking about going to heaven. Heaven does not exist. If heaven existed, then a lot of these countries, including us, wouldn't do half the shit that we do. Religion is for control. Religion is a good, way to point out right and wrong for people to go by. I give it that. That's totally fine. But as far as like you're going to heaven or hell, no, you're not. You cannot run around here killing people or this and that, then be able to go to church and then repent your sins and that's all cool. And God gonna forgive you for that. That's a bunch of bullshit. The universe has its way of making things right, whether it's directly or indirectly. So the brain is the biggest muscle we have on our body. Your brain controls everything. What messages to send or decisions to make. So when you dilute that with a bunch of bullshit and all the years of living, then how do you evolve? You can't. Whoever came up with this narrative of you have to get married, have kids, and live in this house, and have so many cars, have these cars that you don't own, because if you don't pay taxes on your house, they're going to come and get your shit. So how do you own anything? If you don't register your fucking car every year, sooner or later, or you don't pay your car note, they come and don't pay your car note, but even after you pay your car note, if you don't pay your registration, what happens? So in the big scheme of things, you really don't own anything outside of your thoughts, outside of your experiences that you have with people who should not be manipulated by outsiders. I was talking to somebody at the gym the other day, and I got to tell people, if you think about just life and how we come here, we're supposed to come here as free. We're supposed to come here with all the opportunities that everyone else has. But because the world has been co-opted, that's not permissible. And majority of us think that we are individuals and we got our own thoughts and we thinking for yourselves. And you're not. You are absolutely not. As we are coming in this world, that's why when you have little kids and you see little kids doing things that they see grown-ups and mimicking grown-ups, and you're like, how can they do that? That's amazing. No, it's not. When you're born into this world, it's a blank slate. It's a sponge. So that's why you can see little kids looking at adults doing stuff, and then they start mimicking. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. It's not a miracle. It ain't that this and that things are being processed. It's what you imitate. So the body, when you're born, is young, is undeveloped, and it's a blank slate. Then as you get older, the body starts to break down. And if anything doesn't happen that ensures your untimely death, the body starts to break down. And as get older and deteriorate, and people end up dying. Whether from whatever they want to call it natural causes, but with all the shit we got going on in the world today, but the body did that. But in the midst of all that, the energy, the energy, the soul, or whatever you want to call it inside of that, is supposed to grow and have wisdom when it leaves that body. That's why sometimes I talk to people and I can't bang it. I stop banging against the LBGT community. Because if you believe in energy and you believe that's what we are and that's all that we are, sometimes you can see that this energy that's in this vessel could believe that in being in society and interacting that I'm in the wrong vessel and I should be in a different vessel. Now, a lot of this shit going on today is just motherfuckers out here experimenting shit because this is what they see in the media and on the news, and this is what people trying to make popular, and they calling themselves being free, and that is, and they think they just doing. No, you're not. You're being influenced to do that. A lot of people just looking for attention. People want to be loved, so they're gonna get that shit from anywhere they can. And what you need to do is love your motherfucking selves. That's what you need to do. No one should be able to come in your life and take how you feel about you away from you. Only thing they can do is add to it, and if they're trying to take it away from you, and if they are taking it away from you, you need to get the fuck away from around those people. Regardless they family, friends, or whatever. So if you're in a marriage, or a relationship, or at a job, and you're not happy and you're trying to save face, and you're trying to make everybody else happy, you're going to die and you won't even become or nearly even touched who you're really supposed to be. Stop looking outward and look inward. But again, society doesn't allow majority of us to do that. And the majority of us won't do that because we're looking for acceptance and we want to be a part of something. Be a part of your motherfucking self. That's what we are here for. And we are here to do things for each other. The greatest thing that you can do in life is something for someone else. That's why you got so many African American men, we out here killing the shit out of each other. And you know why we're doing that? Because we have such strong energy. When you bump into another gorilla, the one gorilla will be like, oh, we're not there, but the way we feel about it has been influenced. But just because it's been influenced, you cannot continue to not accept accountability for your actions. Same thing with Caucasian people. If we want to stay with labels, and then you have people shooting up schools and all this other shit, we are all one species. So, if I was you, who gives a fuck about Valentine's Day? What, you gonna buy your husband, your boyfriend some candy or whatever, take them out, y'all gonna make love on that day, then you won't be intimate with this person again for another 3-4 months? Are you really happy? Then you go out in the world and you meet people and you find out the people that you're attracted to. I'm not telling a man or a woman to go out and be a whore. But if you got married at 18, or you got married at 20, 27, 25, and you only experienced intimacy with this one person, and now y'all at the point of y'all like 39, close to 40, which it ain't over with, and y'all not really happy, but y'all just around each other? And this is gonna sound mean, but it's the truth. Women have an expiration date. It's just the way society is set up. I'm sorry to tell you that, but they do. Because once a woman becomes, some women keep themselves very attractive. They keep themselves up even late into their 40s, but understand that most men, majority of men, don't want to date. Now, I ain't talking about pedophilia, but when you get up in your 30s and your 40s and this and that, most 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men don't want to date women in their age range because most of women in that age range, I didn't say all, but most women in that age range don't, look as attractive as these young girls. And if you got money and you a man, I don't care how old you is, a woman might not even love you, but if you got resources, you can get all the women you want. That's what women do. They date resources. Majority of women date resources and stability. But then you got to ask yourself, what is that stability doing for you in the long haul? Not in the long haul, your physical and what you do out here in the world, but what is it doing for your soul? And then you get old and you start saying to yourself, I wish I would have had. I shouldn't have did that. Or I should have did this. Your kids will love you. Your friends and your family will love you. Even if you and whoever you're with is separating, if they don't, they're not your friends and your family. Because why would your friends and your family or your kids want you to spend the rest of your life to be unhappy? Just to make them happy. It's the same problem I got with people calling people who commit suicide weak. You know what? The strongest, anybody can kill somebody else. You know how much hard it takes to kill your motherfucking self? You know how tough that is to kill yourself? Then you got people running around here talking about that was a weak move and what about everybody else? You don't know what this person is going through. Whatsoever. Well, you just need to talk to somebody. Maybe they have talked to enough people. Maybe they just said to themselves, you know what? I'm tired of being in this vessel. and dealing with all these other bullshit energies out in this universe, and I'm ready to go. What kind of selfish person would want somebody to stay here in misery and pain just so they can be happy? And then 4 or 5 years, this person is just getting worse and worse and worse. But he's just trying to stick around, and she's trying to stick around. They just over medicating themselves and all this other stuff just to make you happy. Again, find your own happiness. Yes, people die. That's what you should get a grip to that. And yeah, don't nobody want to die, but it happens. Again, stop letting people tell you what and what you shouldn't be doing. And your heart cannot be broken. Your brain can be broken into very, very, very small particles if you allow people to do so. You only get what you allow people to give you. And if people are giving you something against your will, then you should talk to the right people, the authorities, or whoever else to get away from around those people. The world is changing, and you are blind to it because you're not paying attention. And it may not be changing fast enough for you to catch on, but that's not how it works. It's going to gradually and gradually do what they're trying to do or what they want to do to people that really run the world. And you're going to get older and you're going to be like, and your kids are not going to have the freedoms that we have or we think we have at this point. Happy Valentine's Day, you stupid motherfuckers.